Now it started.
There we go.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Thursday live. I am Denise Armenio, and I have Michaela Gomez helping me out today in the chat room. So give a shout out to her. Today we will be working with the Genius, and for anybody who's new to the Genius, I'll be doing a demonstration, and it will help teach you a little bit as well as do a demonstration. And I don't have any volunteers, so if anybody would like to volunteer, I am going to be working on with the functional zones today a little bit because some people had some interest last week, so I just wanted to be able to work with it a little bit more. If someone has pain or something that's like measurable, that would be ideal. So if you wanted to just put your name in the chat box so I could see who would like to volunteer, that would be awesome. Any takers? I don't see anybody. Let's see. Keith, are you still here? I think you had volunteered at one point and I never got a chance to get to you if you would like to volunteer now.
Yeah, I'm here. I'll volunteer.
Hi.
Hi.
So I hope you don't mind me calling you out there, but I know that you had volunteered at one point and I wasn't able to get to you. So
yeah, fine.
So I am just going to add in your name up at the top here for a moment. And what is your birth date, Keith?
July 29, 1957. 07/29/57.
All right, I gotcha. Okay, so now can you just tell me a little bit about what issues you may want to work with today?
I have allergies. I have bronchitis. I have lower back pain all the time. That's my main concern is my lower back pain.
Lower back pain. Okay, so that is the primary. And how would you rate it on a scale of 1 to 10?
It's always a 10. I take morphine for it.
Oh, well, let's see if we can do something about that for you.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. And then what was, I'm sorry, what were the other two things?
Allergies and bronchitis.
Is it like a chronic bronchitis or you're just happen to be sick right now?
Chronic bronchitis.
Okay. And what like for allergies, like food allergies or you like hay fever or what type?
Yeah, I think hay fever.
So more like seasonal?
Yes.
Okay. So let's see what we can do here. So for anybody that's new, we just are going to enter in which I already have the client's name, and then you can go to the bottom and hit next. Keith, do you have video so I could take your picture?
Yeah, hold on. Is it working?
Yes, I see you now. Hello.
Okay.
I'm just adding in some, and so I'm just adding in on this user records, just some of the information you just told me. Just so we have it here that we've spoke of it, and then just to enter it, I'm going to hit done at the bottom and then begin. And we can just, it says your client's been successfully added, and I'm going to hit thank you. I mean, okay. I'm having a day, guys.
Okay. We all have it.
So speaking in tongues. So now I'm going to get your audio clip. So I'm going to count you down. I'll say 3, 2, 1, begin. And then if you can say your full name and then the vowels A, E, I, O, U until the white line on the screen stops. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, begin.
Keith Boynton, A-E-I-O-U. A-E-I-O-U. Allergies, bronchitis, lower back pain. A-E-I-O-U.
Perfect. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now I'm just going to take a little screenshot of you. You can get in the camera there. And I'm saving it to my photos. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is, it's hard to hear because a lot of times the vowels come in as very low frequencies, but the voice harmonics is it will play back what the translation is from what you just recorded into frequency, and it kind of works as like a homeopathic. It's your own frequency, so I'm training it. So I'm going to turn my volume up and hopefully you can hear it.
I hear it.
Good. Okay, great. So now from here, I'm just going to hit next on the bottom right. Can you hear me okay? Sometimes the Zoom drops my...
Yeah.
Okay, good. And now I'm just going to hit continue. And now, because I've already downloaded your picture, I can click on this little image here where it says photo and click on existing photo. And there you are. And now I'm going to begin analysis for your photo. Okay. So would you like to add an affirmation here?
Yeah, all things are possible.
What?
All things are possible.
Okay. Okay, so now you can see, so anybody who's doing a trial or just has the basic version, this is going to be the view that you have. There's 3 categories: the biofield, body, and mind. However, if you've created any libraries or you've purchased any libraries or you've had some friends that have sent you libraries, I need to go get them at this point. So I'm going to hit these 3 lines on the top right. We call them the navigation bars, and it brings us to what we call the back office. And here you can see up top, it gives you the name of the current client. And I'm just going to go down to libraries. And now I can add to client. So I'm going to click add to client, and I'm just going to select all and hit OK. And I'm also going to go to master branch, and I'm going to add to client and select all. Now in master branch, you need to specify from created to shared. So I'm also going to hit shared master branch and add to client and select all and hit OK. When you're in this screen, and you add to client, it will automatically add the created and shared libraries. So now you can see after I've done that, the library banner is showing up. The other thing I just wanted to tell everybody, when you start working with the Genius, a lot of times it will ask you if you want to add all your libraries to all the clients. Usually, and in the beginning, that is what I always did. But I have so many libraries now that when I sync, it takes a really long time if I have them assigned to everybody. So I only assign them when I want to assign the libraries to them. So some people will see this libraries show up all the time when they go into their Genius. I just wanted to tell you why I had to add them. So now I'm going to hit begin analysis at the bottom. And okay, so first thing I want to mention is that the Genius is really smart, and it will show you how the categories are prioritized right now on where it's finding the priority of your energetic disturbances. So for you, Keith, it's the Genius is telling us that it's in your mind, that we may want to pay some special attention to this area. And then in the biofield, the body, and then lastly, in some of my libraries. The next thing that I wanted to point out is the Genius uses a numerical system. So the values go from 0 to 777. And the lower range, 0 to 100, is represented by the color blue. Is there none here? That's really odd. Look at you. But if we click on one of these lines, I'm sure we're going to get some blue values. So you can see here, we have blue, and that value is 49. I'm just going to click out of here for a second. And the low range or blues are observed to be chronic energetic disturbances, meaning that you've had that disturbance for a longer period of time. Also in Chinese medicine, they may refer to that as stagnant energy. It's also an under energy. So the items may not be getting enough energy. And we see that a lot when I've worked with the meridian system, you're going to see some areas are over energy and under energy. And basically you want to balance them out. So then after the blue, we go into green, and that range is 101 to 450. And from there we go to yellow, which is 451 to 688. And then from 688 to 777 is represented by the color red. And this would be more acute or disturbances that are more present. And in Chinese medicine, that's could be referred to as heat or inflammation or over energy. So just to give you a little better understanding of that. When we work with putting some of the line items in either the quick zap or in the main hold tray, we typically work with the reds and blues. However, there are times, especially when you want to focus on certain areas, that will add values 600 and above and 200 and below. And the reason for that is we've observed that when we have items in the main hold tray and then run a progressive insights scan, when we're working in progressive insights, the Genius looks at all the items in their relationship to each other. So what may show up as yellow or green on some of the ones that are on the border of blue and red might then end up being of high energetic disturbance. So we just want to make sure that we're including everything and not missing anything. On the left-hand side, we have these double arrows or accordions, and that's just letting us know that we can go a little bit deeper, that if we click on this line, we can get more specific, detailed information. So that's always helpful. And for most of these, you will see it on all of them really, except for the aura. And when we do click on the aura, though, it will give us the ability to take an aura picture, and that's what we're going to do right now. So I'm just going to hit begin analysis. Ooh, that's a really pretty aura. So I love when I'm working with auras, I like to see bright, vibrant colors, and that's really what we're seeing here. So this is really amazing and beautiful. I hope we can maintain such a nice aura by the end of the session today. It may not look as nice because if we're working with a lot of items and I don't really have enough time to work with them, it may get a little pale or a little muddied, but that's okay. But overall, I like trying to see if we can get these bright, vibrant colors, because when they're dull and muted, it's just an indication that there's stagnant energy in there. And a lot of people ask what the colors mean. The colors really correspond to like the chakra colors. So you can always look up the chakras and what those meanings are for each one. I don't really go into much detail with that. I just want to make sure that we're clearing all that stagnant energy. So now the next thing that I always like to work on is working with some of the minerals to help like prepare our body. And if you come to any of Dr. Debbie Drake's Tuesday live, she really goes into great detail on all the theory on this. I'm not going to get into the theory so much because she does that, but I am going to show you how I work with it. So I have created a library that actually has all the minerals, all the 45 essential nutrients in it. So I'm just going to add that first. If you don't have that, you could just add the minerals and amino acids and vitamins yourself manually, but I just like to include these in here. This just takes a minute because I have so many libraries. So I'm just going to add everything in here to try to give a good prep and start. And I'm going to run a quick progressive insight balance now on all of these. So I'm just going to run it for 1 minute. I'm going to hit begin analysis here on the bottom. And I'm going to check all and play. So basically, the importance of these is that all these essential nutrients is what your body needs to have all these electrical connections working, so that your body's, all the cells are talking to each other as they should. We want to make sure that they're as balanced as they can be, so that you can absorb the frequencies into your body. And also staying hydrated and drinking plenty of water is really important too. So don't have any. You should after this. So 46% rectification, that's really great. I am now gonna back out a little bit here, and I am going to look at some of the other libraries that are in here, and some other things I might add in here that I always like to work with again in the beginning is just kind of like the foundational work. It's from the mostly from the bio field. I want to add in, and I will add in everything in here in this case, even though we typically work with the reds and blues. I find that the spiritual protection really is really important and can be one of the root causes for a lot of stuff if we're not clearing that. We can add in just the line for aura itself. In meridians, I always like to work with the conception vessel and the governing meridian. These are the two meridians on the conception is in the front of your body and the governing runs down to your back. And this is where we're pulling in all our energy from. So we want to make sure that's good. I do have to say this looks pretty good in here. We can get back. I am going to add in the lung meridian and the spleen meridian while I am here. Just because of what you had mentioned with the bronchitis.
Yeah.
The next thing I would look at is the sacred geometry. And you do have a number that are off here, at least in red. I'm just going to bring these up to the main hold tray. And I'm going to add a few others. I've added the flower of life and I'm going to add the Taurids, Fibonacci, whoops, and golden ratio. And I'm just going to run these in quick zap for a little bit. I'm just going to put it on 0 because I may not run it the whole minute. So I'm just going to hit play. And it's not giving me a rectification on that, but that's okay. And now I want to look at the Nogiers. I'm going to add the 3 blues. N, G, and A, these are like your universal frequencies. Now, I just wanted to look quickly for you. So Nogier, the Nogiers, Dr. Nogier found that all the glands and the organs have their own frequency, kind of like their own fingerprint. So we want the frequencies of those organs and glands to be balanced. That way they can function optimally. F has to deal with emotional harmony, bone healing, and hormones. It also has to deal with muscle spasms, facial pain, headaches, depression, hormones, circulation, and the hypothalamus. E has to do with pain reduction, arthritis, and the nervous system. And C, musculoskeletal, tendons, ligaments, and adrenals. So that really kind of makes a lot of sense based on just your back pain alone. So hopefully that will be a help for you. I want to add Saveggio tones, and I always look at 528 and we'll add that regardless of what the value is. That just has to do with transformation and miracles and DNA repair. So it's really essential to me in adding that. And we can add this connecting dots and the blues as well. And while we're here, the chakras don't really appear so bad, but I'm just going to add the ones that are below 200 and above 600. Okay. The next thing I want to do, which I really got a little bit off tangent with, and I apologize, but I want to look at this. Oh no, actually, sorry guys. I do want to run a 1-minute balance on what I put in with the spiritual protection and some of those other items. So I'm just going to hit begin analysis here. And I'm going to hit all, and we'll run this for just 1 minute. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to add them to the chat. Kayla is covering the chat for you. Okay, and that was 32% rectification. So that's really great as well. The next place I want to go is if you go to System Overview and tap on System Overview, it brings you to General Overview. So General Overview is everything on that first main page that we saw, like expanded, and then it reorders everything in numerical order. So we can see what all your high reds are and your low blues. So for you, it is what's coming up as red or your highs, or we can even call that over energy in a lot of your meridian points. Here, we also see sacred square root in sacred geometry, some hormones, essential oils. If you click general overview, again, it will then give you the bottom view. So then we can see that lime essential oil, lemongrass herbs. And again, now we have a bunch of meridian points that are showing to be under energy. So I am just going to run a 1 minute quick balance. And the quick balance will just run the reds and blues. But considering how many are in this right now, because it's everything from the main page, there's a large amount. How you doing?
Okay.
Good. Oh, I left it on 0. Whoops. 54% rectification. That's awesome. So we covered a lot of ground here. And I'm glad because I really want to get to some of the other areas. I do want to I want to look at, I'm going to clear by hitting clear all over here, clear the sacred geometry. And I'm just going to add your emotions, the reds and the blues. And I'm going to add in, oops, the reds and blue flower essences. And I'm just going to run that quickly because it's always important to work with emotions. I'm trying not to load up the main whole tray right now because we're already at 80 items. And I do want to work with the functional zone, and we're going to be adding more when we get there. So that's why I didn't add today the emotions into the main whole tray. And if anybody is interested, Michaela just added the PDF link for the manual. If you're interested in looking at that, it is in the chat room, so you may want to check that out. And thank you, Michaela. Okay, so again, 56% rectification, which is great. So we touched on that, and I don't think I added theta waves to the main whole tray, and I am going to add that in. Again, Dr. Debbie spoke a lot about that this past week in her Tuesday, so you may want to watch the replay on that. I'm going to add digestion. I'm going to look at, just going to add the highs and lows here for your, actually, I'm going to add them all for you because of your back issues and the bronchitis, just to make sure that all the nerve endings are open and sending the messages as they should be. And then let's just look at today's stress, and we see inflammation, liver, hormonal, and we'll add the virus, brain, lymphatic, and I'm going to add adrenals as well. Okay, so we've looked at a lot in here. We can look at the body systems, which digestion we already added, but we'll put it back in, and circulatory. Okay, so now let's go back to the libraries and let's look at quick. I want to pain for you. So let's just see what the location comes up with. It says left knee pain, headache, TMJ. TMJ, in case people aren't aware, this is a huge spot where we hold a lot of tension and stress, because this is a lot of times when we want to protect ourselves, our body tightens. So we do hold a lot of tension in here. So that's always a good area to work with. I'm going to add the headache and knee pain, and back pain isn't showing, but that's okay. And we can go to our right frequencies for pain. And I'm just going to add these reds and blues. And I'm getting these that are 600 and above in here. Okay, so I also want to look at your muscles. And we have, so the pelvic area is going off, back and neck. We can look at back and neck first. And I'm going to add the these yellows. I can't remember if I added the blues. I did. I didn't. And we can look at, I'm going to the head only because when that TMJ went off, it could be that the muscles in the head is related. I know that that hasn't been an area of concern for you, but everything is connected. So I just don't want to miss that. Yeah, see again, like, so sometimes you just have to, maybe it's just my gut here, but when the TMJ went off, and to me, I just know that that's like where you can hold a lot of trapped emotions and other things that can just build up. The muscles of the head and the face are all going off. So that is why, even though it doesn't seem like it's related, I'm adding it. And let's also hit your muscle relaxation and get some solutions in here. These would be considered solutions to working with these. And I am going to bring in the ones that are 600 and above. The other area I want to look at here for you is circulation. Because if you're not getting appropriate blood flow, you're not and getting oxygen to all those areas of the back, you're not gonna heal as well. So let's see. Let's look at abdomen and pelvis. And we could add these red items here because the abdomen is also related to the back, right? If your core isn't strong, your back is going to be weak too. So and these are a little of this is in Chinese medicine. These are the vessels that they have. Now I know for a lot of people, you might not know what a lot of all these different things mean. It's okay. And you can still use the Genius effectively if you don't understand what every line in these libraries mean. If you're following the basic rule of adding reds and blues or 600 and above and 200 and below, you're going to do great. So don't let that scare you off. And then I'm just going to hit this vessels clear and restore oxygenation. Reds and blues. And lastly, what did you tell me on bronchitis? Respiratory. Or just adding some miasms here to help maybe strengthen your lungs. And some homeopathics. And you've had the bronchitis for how long?
Long time. For over 20 years.
And it's the same all the time?
Pretty much.
Okay, I'm just trying to. I'm wondering if we should add some emotions in there. A lot of time we hold a lot of grief in our lungs.
In terms of priorities, I said the back pain first, then the bronchitis.
Okay, well, I've added a lot. Why don't we go into the progressive insights and hit an analysis here? And then I want to see, I'm going to run them all for 1 minute. Let's see what I want to look at for the functional. Thank you, Deb. So Dr. Deb had said that I can't even pronounce that actually. Mythis chest infections last 20 years and cause TMJ and tight neck muscles and vessels due to low dopamine and muscle spasms. And frankincense is also great to add. So we will look at that and add that in. Let's just quickly see if I can find in here where I have back pain. I know that was spasms. Let's see. Is it spasms or just like pain? Keith, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, is it like back spasms or just pain all the
No,
time?
it's like a needle in my back all the time.
I'm just looking for where the back pain is that I know I added in here. Give a holler if you see it. Okay, I don't know why it's not showing up. I'm gonna go into, where is the back spasms? Oh, here, back pain. Okay, so we can hit functional zone considerations here. So it's showing the geophysical zone, tissue regulation zone, and microorganism zone are all low. I'm going to add the 3 of those into the main hold tray. I'm also going to look at these other areas as well. In fact, I'm going to add the immune zone and the interference zone because those are below 200 and above 600. And then we can click on them to narrow it down even further. So when we look at the immune zone, we're looking at things for food allergy stress, non-autoimmune allergy stress, autoimmune stress, immune stress, vaccine stress, organ change stress. So we can add both of these in here, and maybe that will also help with your allergies. I'm going to look at the interference zone. And we have toxic substance interference and Foci field stress evaluation. So I'll add those. Those are also relatively high. We can look at the tissue regulation zone. So in tissue regulation, it's pre-degeneration 1 stress, pre-degeneration 2, stress degeneration 1, and stress organic vegetative stress. And you did have degeneration in the main panel, so that may be a little area that needs more work. Microorganisms is fungus stress, yeast stress, bacteria, virus, parasite, Lyme, geophysical, atmospheric stress, geopathic charge, electromagnetic stress, radioactivity. Virus stress is actually, both of these parasite stress evaluation is also high as well. And I didn't forget, I just want to go back to the biochemical zone and psychogenic zone just to see what shows up here. Strangely, sometimes I've seen 100% in these, even though they may not be a high or a low. So vitamin stress evaluation is 90%, 97%, and your pH acid stress. So this is just another way of trying to dig a little deeper. shock stress evaluation and depressive tendency stress evaluation. So I've added all those. I'm just going to go back and I'm just going to look at the essential oils and add frankincense. I don't know if you saw it someplace else, Deb, but it wasn't high there, but I still added it. So now I'm going to hit begin analysis. Again, I'm going to run them all for 1 minute. And you can see up at the top, the pH acid stress evaluation, that is in the highs. Parasite stress evaluation. So if I look down, so a lot of those functional zones are appearing high. So it's good that, to look at those. How's your back feeling? Any change? Yeah?
Yeah.
Good. So 42% rectification. Again, I think that's great. I'm going to hit rescan up at the top. Now, again, it's kind of like when you run all of them for 1 minute and rescan, it's like bringing everything to the surface that may be a little bit harder to clear. So it's just helping us cut through everything. So I'm going to hit all again. And again, we see the toxic substance interference stress evaluation that was from the functional zones up at the top. So that's the only one there for right now. So let's just run these for 1 minute. So to answer your question, does one need to buy the libraries that you're running? The basic model has amazing 27 panels in it, and then you can clear a lot of, you can harmonize the body and clear a lot. The libraries do help drill down and get more specific on, specific topics that you may want to work with. So in my opinion, as an energy healer and doing different modalities, for me, it's really important. It really depends what your focus is. So if you have a specific need, you may want to look at some libraries to help you with that. I hope that makes sense or answered your question. So the genius is saying you did excellent, 58% rectification. So now we're going to run just the highs for 3 minutes, and then we can go back and see how your aura looks and talk a little bit about how you're feeling. Here the TMJ came up again, so some inflammation. Let's just run this. Alex, I'm not sure I understand your question. You're asking, after the rescan, I ran all again. Then the rescan was useless. No, I'm not sure I'm understanding you correctly. The point to running the rescan is to just see, I'm running them all again, but it's nice to just see which line items are clearing or moving down to medium or low, and which ones are coming up into high. So I'm not, oh wait, when you run all, it correct. When you run all, they're all getting all the frequencies, but I'm doing it to try to, those that will clear easily, I'm trying to work with them to clear them, so then I'm just left with the really tough items that are more stagnant energy and harder to clear. So I think it's making sense for you now. I hope that helped. Hope I didn't just confuse anyone.
That's a good question.
Sure. I'm listening.
I did it the first time.
Well, wait, you know what? I'm sorry. I can't hear you so good. So you have 58 seconds and then you can ask. In the meantime, let me just look after this. Okay, so Alex, yes, after the rescan, I run all the highs. And Melissa is asking, how long do things stay clear for? That really all depends. Everybody's different. A lot of times when you work with energy, it's a little bit like peeling an onion. Sometimes your body has you work with what's safe to work at that moment, and then it kind of releases a little bit more, but it's so personal and everybody's different. So it's really hard to answer that specifically. I hope that helps. So you had 27% rectification. So now you had a question you wanted to ask.
Yeah, when I signed up to get the Genius, the person that I signed up with wasn't really, I guess, that involved with what was going on here. And she doesn't really answer my questions when I go to her. So is there a person that I can talk to when I have questions about how this thing works?
You can email me at Denise at Inside Health Apps. I'd be happy
Okay.
to help.
Okay.
All right. So, yep,
Thank you.
you're welcome. So let's go back and see what your aura looks like now. And so how is your back? It was a 10 before.
Yeah, no, it's, I can barely feel the pain now.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's terrific. So your aura still looks nice. It's a little bit on the pale side, not as bright and as vibrant as it was before. But I'm just going to run some gems. One of my favorite libraries that I use is my Alaskan. And I'm going to use the gems here. And I'm just going to run a quick balance on these because there's so many and we already have 263 items in the tray. I'm just going to put this on 1 minute. Whoops. And I'm going to run a quick balance. Hello. Okay. I don't know why that's my trackpad is being temperamental. There we go. Remember to drink water. It's really important before, during, after, because you will dehydrate easier. Now, how does the bronchitis affect you? Like, do you wheeze or are you coughing?
Yeah. I used to be a runner all the time. Run. Had trouble walking too because the bronchitis pretty much. Yeah.
So does it hurt when you breathe in, or what happens?
Yeah, it's like somebody standing on my chest.
And how does it feel now?
No, it's fine now.
Was it, so it feels better since even just,
Yes, yes.
awesome, awesome, awesome. Let's look at your aura.
How often do you run this program? Is that like when you're feeling bad, or because I know that you things change with your body on a daily basis.
That's a really great question. And I'm a big believer in energetic hygiene and maintenance. So, I think everybody should be running it every day, even if just for a few minutes in the morning or whenever you have time, but just to build it into your routine. It's always easy just to do the general overview because you're getting all the reds and blues. And if you're busy, it doesn't take any time at all to just go in, hit quick balance on the general overview. But I would recommend before you did that to just run, you can either just run the minerals and maybe 528 from the Saveggio tones, one or two of the sacred geometry. You can always make a playlist, and we can talk about that maybe next week. We can I can show you how to do that. So you can run a playlist. So instead of searching for all of them, and you can already have it preset to do that, and just do that as like your foundation or your pre-scan. That way your body is primed and able to receive the frequencies better. That would be my recommendation. So hopefully, Michaela, remember that when you ask me what the topic is next week. So anyway, so your aura doesn't look quite as beautiful as it did when we started, but your pain is better. So that makes me really happy. Do you have any other questions before we?
No, I'm good now. Thank you.
Well, good. Let me know how you're doing. Hopefully you will.
Yeah, I'll keep you informed.
Yeah, I'd love the feedback. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right. And thank you to everybody for showing up. I hope we see you all next Thursday. And remember to tune in to Dr. Deb's Tuesday live. She has a lot of great information, and we try to blend everything that we're doing together so we can take her theory and put it into practice. So if anybody has any questions throughout the week on how we can integrate some of what Deb is talking about into your scans, let me know that as well. All right, so have a great rest of the day and a great week, and we'll see you next Thursday. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, Keith.